Greetings and welcome to the broadcast. I'm your host, and today we're going to look at these entry-level Pilla shooting glasses used by Olympians, at least the big ones are, inside this ballistic nylon carrying case. Now, folks, elsewhere on the McIsencraft site, we've tested the real expensive ones. This case is really tough. I mean, I'm going to squeeze it here really tight. It's tight enough to break the rind of an orange or something. It does a real good job. Anyway, Pilla has finally given us something that's under 500 bucks. The zipper is fantastic. It's almost like a work of art itself. Inside, you've got a kind of a microfiber carrying bag or carrying kit. This is called the 26ED. This is a good one for all-around use. Vigilante, by the way, is the model name. Now, Carl Zeiss, the Zeiss company, has his special anti-theft counterfeiting logo, this etching we're going to take a look at a little bit later on. All right, let's get these glasses out of here. Boy, you can just feel the quality, super lightweight, but you know there's something in here that, well, the performance of these glasses speaks for themselves. Well, the glasses themselves are extremely light. You pick these up, and you want them light for competition purposes. It's got a pretty large side panel on it for the actual frame. Look at the very bottom. You can see the word Zeiss, Vivex down there. I'll try to turn it a little bit more if the sunlight hits it. That's part of the anti-theft or anti-counterfeiting measures in there. That's really hard to get an etching like that. And now look at this. This is a very unusual sculpted hinge. I've never quite seen one like this. Uh, you can see it's a big bite of air, and it's inletted almost like a carpenter's chisel and lets it in there. More about this a little bit later on. When it's all the way out, it provides some protection right there with that sticking out there. Now, these vents actually work. I tested these in a rainstorm on a bicycle with the sun coming out, with and without these vents. If you look at them a little, we'll try to get a sense of the actual aerodynamics, so to speak, of them. Right there, you kind of see it's got a pretty good flow with the curvature of the lens. Now, the nose piece I don't like. Uh, that's something that we'll cover out a little bit later on, but you can see how the airflow goes. You can get a general sense of the overall composition and balance of these glasses. Now, this nose piece, I got to tell you right now, for this kind of money, this part I'm holding is soft rubber. The outside part is hard, scratchy plastic. That part there is all scratchy, hard plastic. There's a seam in the center that's not adjustable. It doesn't feel real good on your nose. Now, if you pull it out, there's almost an engineering marvel. These two cuts you see down here are like something Boeing would use to keep a stress crack from forming. Anyway, you slide this thing down. Somebody ought to have some replaceable nose pieces. You know, for this kind of money, you should pretty much get something a little bit better. Now, here's the hinge. Now, see that tang sticking out right there? As that sticks out and the glass, bang, hits hits something, it tends to protect that if it bobbles around inside there. Pilla logos, of course. Back to the silicone nose pieces. That'd be something to have. Now you can see these are sharp-looking glasses, real sharp lettering. Again, see that sculpted hinge on the left? You kind of get used to that after a while. More lettering on the other side, of course, you can see where they're made, and it's not China. Now, part of the anti-theft or anti-counterfeiting measure is that little, you see that little Z or the two little 6 etches in there? Here, I'll make it a little bit bigger for you. This thing is hard to do. And unfortunately, they misplaced ours. They put it right in the line of sight where it's an irritant. Anytime the sun hits it, I think it's not good. You shouldn't put it right here in the middle of the eye. But, you know, these things, Zeiss may have a reason for doing this, or this could have just possibly slipped through. We have some $1,000 lenses right here. You can see they put the anti-theft or anti-counterfeiting sign over to the right farther like they're supposed to, and that's out of the way of your eye. But, you know, live and learn, things happen. Anyway, back to these nose pieces. You can see how somebody with a 3D printer could print up a bunch of adjustable nose pieces and maybe make some money. It just doesn't feel right. Now, on the other end of the glasses, you have a very elegantly sculpted paddles back here. You could easily put a lanyard in there. It's recessed. It looks nice. Hinges could probably be replaced by a user. Could probably replace this if you had to in a pinch. Again, you can see that thing right in the way of our eye. Look at that little logo. Geez, I wish it had done that. Well, let's move along. We know what we don't like about it. Let's simulate some recoil. Here's some peelers going. We're going to simulate recoil as the shooter moves from one target to the other. Right, bang, right there. There's the recoil. And look at that. He's able to track the target all the way through. Here's some sheep sunglasses. Bang. There's a optical subluxation right there. Splitting of the image. Garbage. That's hard to track a target through there. Here's some better glasses. You can see right there, more optically correct. Bang, right there, bang. An optical subluxation. Let's simulate recoil, up and down, bang, bang. And it's hard to keep track of the target. Now here's the Pillas again. The target's moving, tracking, beautiful tracking. Come back to the secondary target, recoil, simulate, bang, bang, up, down, and pick up the second target. This stuff, there's a reason Olympians use these things. They actually work. They really do. Now, these things are molded. See that top? This isn't a piece of polycarbonate like Oakley's that's bent around a jig or something. This is true optical castings. And these things, here's the more expensive ones tested elsewhere on the McIsencraft site, on the YouTube site. You can see what they cost, $1,000 for the high-end ones. The ones we're testing is called the Vigilantes here in the red ink. You can see, this is what they have. That comes in a couple color packages. You can see there's the light, the dark. We tested the dark ones for you here. Now, police and law enforcement's getting involved. They have sometimes called a twig in the back that holds, in theory, it takes some of the pressure off his nose as he gets ready to take the shot. Now look right here. Here's how it works. That part goes down as actual titanium. You bend it in and release the pressure off the nose piece. Now you think I was doing something with some light here. Here at the Zeiss, they do it 110 times more advanced. You can get these with a prescription package. I tried these, again, tested elsewhere on the McIsencraft site. I actually tested these with a reading glass setup. Now, it's a lot of money, but it really is easier on your eyes. I've done a lot of reading. I got to say, it's really, really good. Well, folks, we're going to go ahead and get ready to pass along here. You can see this thing is a sharp, very narrow paddle. Folks, may I share the Bible with you just for a second here? Let's look up an old 400-year-old Bible and look up the words eyes or eyesight or dim eyes. First thing you do is crack it open. We're not going to preach at you, but maybe the ancients knew something about eyes. You look up a Bible, the word eyes are mentioned 481 times. And let's just take a peek about eyes getting dim, things happening with eyes. Here's one right here. Guy's eyes got dim and he couldn't see. This took place probably 3,000 or 4,000 years ago. Let's look at one other scripture from the ancients. 98 years old, the guy's eyes were dim and he couldn't see. Here's a spiritual dimness. Eyes weren't dim because of sin. That's kind of a little different situation. But folks, Lord bless you. Take care. If you get a chance, read the Bible, and maybe you'll take a look at some things in a different light. Take care, and bye for now. We're going to go ahead and close out with a little bit of music.
Now the boy told the shepherd there's a fearful storm. So I went out to the fields to drive the flock home. And I counted every lamb into the keep. Yeah, all except for one, that little black sheep. Little black sheep, little black sheep in the howling wind, with no relief in a cold, cold world. Nothing sounds so sweet as the voice of a shepherd to a little black sheep. Little black sheep, he ain't nothing but trouble. He's not worth much, and it'll cost you double. But the shepherd say he knows, but he won't see till he go out and find that little black sheep. Little black sheep, little black sheep in the howling wind, with no relief in a cold, cold world. Nothing sounds so sweet as the voice of the shepherd to a little black sheep. Was a wandering kind, but the shepherd brought him back every time. And mama say, child, when your pride starts to creep, you best remember we all just little black sheep. Little black sheep, little black sheep in the howling wind, with no relief in a cold, cold world. Nothing sounds so sweet has the voice of a shepherd to a little black sheep. Has the voice of a shepherd to a little